Then you want to do a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, poke a hole there. Then you want to go into the center, poke a hole there. Then you want to go halfway in between the center hole and the top hole, and poke a hole there. And then you want to go halfway in between the bottom hole and the center hole, poke a hole there. And you want to make sure that these holes go all the way through your book. It's called a signature, group of pages. So you can see that I've got all my holes going all the way through. There's a good example right there in the center. Now, I'm going to pull the outside page off of my signature, and I'm going to set that one aside, and I'm going to line this one up inside my next signature. And I'm just going to use it as a template and poke my holes in the exact same place. So just going to poke my holes, and that way I know that these holes will align when I go to sew it together. So now that I've got all my holes, I'm going to put that sheet back in its original signature. I'm going to fold this signature up, and I'm going to get ready to sew these two together. So I've got my thread on a needle. You want a pretty fat needle. And you're going to hold your signature open in the center, like that. And you're going to go down into the top hole, go through all 3 pages. And you're going to go all the way to the other end and come up through the hole on the other end. Leaving a tail on that first end. So you've got the thread and it's going all the way through, skipping the 3 holes in the middle. Now you're going to take your second book block and you're going to put it up against the first one like this. And you want to make sure that the holes line up, which they do. If they don't, you'll just flip the signature around and then they should line up perfectly. Now what you're going to do is you're going to hold the center of the 2 signatures together like this. And so this is my thread coming out of the first signature, and it's going to go down into the first hole, the second signature. Then it's going to go to the second hole and come back up. So we're not skipping anything this time. So it came out of the second hole. Now it's going to go back into the first signature. Then it's going to go around the thread that's in that center signature and out through the same hole. Then back down into the second hole of the second signature and pull it tight. So we've sewn together now these first 2, this one and this one. And we're inside of the second signature, so now we're going to come up into that center hole. Down into the first signature in the center hole. Back out. And some of you might have done this before with another teacher at CC. and back down into the second one. So you were wrapping around that. Then again, with the fourth hole, back into the first signature. You're going to go around the thread, back out the same hole, back down into the second signature. And then out that final hole. And then you want to just give a tug on that tail end and on the end that you're sewing with. Check to make sure it's nice and tight in there. You can see that it's wrapped around the thread in each one. And then you're going to tie these two ends together. Like that. And if you don't know how to tie knots, just tie a lot of knots, because then you'll just put a tiny bit of glue on it and it should be good to go. And now you should have a book with a bunch of pages. Just like that.